Hari. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is a Sunday. It is 14th of December. It is Narayana Masa or Paushya Masa, Krishna Paksham, Dasami Tithi. There are no Vaishnavas today, but tomorrow it is Ekadasi. So fasting from grains, beans, cereals, and any seeded fruits. No seeds, but pulp can be taken. Okay, that is our upcoming event. But today, no events. We shall move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Lord Brahma's prayers to the Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, they're all glorious and he is glorifying in different angles. So mentioning that in yesterday's shloka, he was mentioning the form of the Lord, oh my dear Lord. So this, whatever the form I am seeing, it is beyond the material nature. And it is also describing like I do not see any form superior to your present form of eternal bliss and knowledge. So in your impersonal Brahman effulgence, in the spiritual sky, there is no occasional change and no deterioration of internal potency. I surrender unto you because, whereas I am proud of my material body and senses, your Lordship is the cause of the cosmic manifestation, and yet you are untouched by matter. Likewise, Brahma offered his prayers. Natah parama yadbhavatah swarupam anandamatram avikalpam aviddavacchaha pasyami visujam ekam aviswamatman bhutendriyatmaka madastha upasritosmi. Likewise, Lord Brahma is offering. So further, he is continuing that, oh my dear Lord, your form, it is so auspicious for all universes. It is auspicious for all universes. And you exhibit your form for your devotees so that they will come and take it darshan. It is for their auspiciousness. So I am offering my humble obeisances onto your form. And then whoever is not taking the pleasure and engaging themselves in the materialistic activities and discussions, they will go to hell. Likewise, Lord Brahma is offering another prayer, another shloka. We are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 9, verse number 4. Tadvaidam bhuvanamangala dhyanis manoddarsitam ta upasakanam tasmai namo bhagavate anuvidhema tubhyam yo nadruto narkabhagbihi asat Tadvaidum Mangalaya. So it is described that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, Tadva or Idam, and this present form, Tadvaidam, Mangalaya, Bhuvana Mangala. Oh, you who are all auspicious for all universes, Bhuvana Mangalaya, for the sake of all prosperity. ध्याने स्मनो दर्शितम तव उपासकाणां ध्याने further in meditation ध्याने स्मनो in meditation sma as it were naha onto us ध्याने स्मनो darsitam and it is manifested te your form and Upasakanam of the devotees. Upasakanam. Devotees are, it is called Upasakanda, Karmakanda, Jnanakanda, Upasanakanda. Devotees, they engage themselves in the Upasanakanda, engaging in the service. Upasakanam, for the devotee's sake. Dhyanis manuna dasitha ta upasakanam. Tasmai namo bhagavate anuvidema tubhyam. Tasmai, unto him, namaha, my respectful obeisances. Namaha bhagavate, unto Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anuvidema tubhyam, I perform tubhyam unto you. What? It is the namaha, my respectful obeisances. Yo anadruto narkabhagbihi asat prasangaihi. And yo, which anadrutaha is neglected, by neglecting the form of the Lord, which is manifested for the sake of the devotees and the auspiciousness of all the universes. If anyone is neglecting that form, yo anadruta narakabhagbihi, by persons destined to hell, narakabhagbihi asat prasangaihi, by material topics, by discussing and engaging themselves and speculating on the materialistic topics. Asat prasangaihi. So by neglecting the Lord's form, and if engaging in anything after that, they will make the path clear to the hell. Yo anadruto narakabhagbihi asat prasangaihi. Okay, likewise, Lord Brahma is saying to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Maitreya is speaking to Vidura. Tadvaidum bhuvana mangala mangalaya dhyanesmano darsitam ta upasakanam. Tasmai namo bhagavate anuvidema tubhyam yo nadruto narkabhagbihi asat prasangaihi. Okay, translation. This present form or any transcendental form expanded by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Shri Krishna is equally auspicious for all the universes. Since you have manifested this eternal personal form upon whom your devotees meditate, I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Those who are destined to be dispatched to the path of hell neglect your personal form because of speculating on material topics. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, can I request Usha Mataji to read the purport, please?
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Regarding the personal and impersonal features of the Supreme Absolute Truth, the exhibited by the Lord in his different plenary expansions are all of the benediction of all the universe. The personal form of the Lord is also worshipped in meditation as the Super Soul, Paramatma, but the impersonal Brahma Jyoti is not worshipped. Persons who are addicted to the impersonal feature of the Lord, whether in meditation or otherwise, are all pilgrims to hell because, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 12.5, impersonalists simply waste their time in mundane mental speculation because they are addicted more to false arguments than to reality. Therefore, the association of the impersonalist is condemned herewith by Brahma. All the plenary expansion of the personality of Godhead are equally potent as confirmed in the Brahma Samhita 5.646. Diparachir eva hi adasanantanam abhyupetya dipayate vivarta hetu samana dharma yastad tadarcha eva hi cha visnutya viputi govindam adipurusam tamaham bhajami. The Lord himself as the flames of fire expand one after another. Although the original flame of Sri Krishna is accepted as Govinda, the Supreme Person, all other expansions such as Rama, Narsimha, and Varaha are as potent as the original Lord. All such expanded forms are transcendental. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is made clear that the Supreme Truth is eternally uncontaminated by material touch. There is no jugglery of words and activities in the transcendental kingdom of the Lord. All the Lord's forms are transcendental, and such manifestations are ever identical. The particular form of the Lord exhibited to a devotee is not mundane, even though the devotee may retain material desire, nor is it manifest under the influence of material energy, as is foolishly considered by the impersonalists. Impersonalists who consider the transcendental form of the Lord to be products of the material world are surely destined for hell. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. So here in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is describing personal and impersonal features of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Okay, personal forms exhibited by the Lord in his different plenary expansions are all for the benediction of all the universes. For the benediction of all the universes. That is Tadbhavona Mangala Mangalaya. And whenever Krishna appears here in this material world and along with the Balarama, it is for the all auspiciousness. And here, the personal form of the Lord is also worshipped in meditation as a super soul. And the personal form of the Lord is also worshipped in meditation as super soul or Paramatma. But the impersonal Brahmajyoti is not worshipped. So here, the three levels is the impersonal form is the Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti, Sabjate. वदन्ति तत्तत् सत्त्वमेज्ञानमद्वयं ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति भगवानिति सिद्ध्यते. The first one is the Brahman effulgence. That is, it is very difficult to meditate upon. It is very difficult to meditate. Because kleshodikatarastesham abhyakta sakta chesam. This is klesha adhikara. So Krishna says klesha adhikatarastesham. It is very difficult, very much difficult. Tesham of them. Avyakta chetasam. Avyakta. So avyakta asakta. It is to unmanifested thing. It is avyakta sakta chetasam. And avyaktahi gatir dukkam. Krishna says avyaktahi. If it is unmanifested, it is very difficult to approach. Avyaktahi gatir dukkam. To progress in the spiritual path, it is very troublesome. Gatir dukkam. Dehavadbhir avapyate. Because we are materially bodied, but how can we accept a form which is impersonal? Because even though we may that, okay, there is impersonal Brahman and we worship that, but you cannot even understand that part that much easily. That's why Krishna says, Avyakta hi gati dukkam dehavadbhir avapyate. So, for example, how it would control our sinful activities, that also important. So, if I'm able to do all things which I like, but there is no person who is supervising me, then I may tend to do so many other things. And likewise, some people they think that God is in the spiritual world, in different way, but he does not take. He does not have a form. Then I can do all sinful activities. So some people, they do not hesitate to commit sinful activities. If they come under and still they feel that I am the supreme, they lord it over material nature. And still, as there is a person, supervisor, immediately they will come to alert, and they do not they do not commit any sinful activities. And then they feel some kind of a submissiveness or servitude to the master. Okay, so that is the natural tendency of the living entities. But here in the spiritual side, other side, Krishna says that here Srila Prabhupada is bringing that one from the Bhagavatam again. So this is Vadanti Tattat Viditatvam Yajnanamadbhayam Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Sajjate. And those three features, impersonal Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, they're all Yadvayam. This is the same object, but it is in a three different features. Same object in three different features. But second level, it is the Paramatma, and that is also personal form of the Lord. He is a four-handed form. Again, it is described the Shankha Chakra Gadadharam. Kechi Swadehant Hridayavakashe Pradesham Matram Purusham Vasantam Chaturbhujam Kanjar Tanga Shanka Gadadharam Dharanaya Smarantim Prasanna Vaktram Narnayatekhanam Kadamba Kinjalka Pisinga Vasasam Lasan Maharatna Kiritang Lasan Maharatna. So this is again Spuran Maharatna Kirita Kundalam. So this is the four-handed form of the Lord. So once whoever is approaching the Lord in the Paramatma feature, so because they are personally meditating on the super soul, they are also able to attain that supreme person. That is Paramatma. Yogis meditate generally on the Paramatma form, four-handed form of the Lord. But devotees, they worship the Lord and the deities form in the temples. So this is Yayoho Ekatarenaiva Purushaha Purusham Rajet Bhakti Yogasha Maya Manavi Udiritaha Yayoho Ekatarenaiva Purushaha Purusham Rajet. Either one of it. Either you are approaching the Purusha, going in secluded place and meditating on that form, like Dhruva Maharaj meditates, like Kardama Prajapati meditates, and there are so many other devotees, they have performed yajnas, and Lord Vishnu has appeared in the four-handed form. But here devotees who worship the deities personally, keeping the deity in the home, rendering personal services, Madhyasna Darshana Puja Sparsha Puja Suti Abhivandanaihi Bhuteshu Madbhavaniya Sattvena Asangamen. For such kind of devotees, the Lord personally come and associate with those devotees. Ittam satam Brahma Sukhanubhutya Dasim Gatanam Paradhaivatena Maya Shitanam Naradharakena Sakam Vijahruhu Kruta Punya Punjaha. Kruta Punya Punjaha. The devotees are Kruta Punya Punjaha. After so many lifetimes, they perform so many pious activities, engaging themselves, and then they will get an opportunity to associate with the Lord. Dasim Gatanam Paradaivatena. Paradaivatena to Krishna. So here about the children are playing with Krishna. So how Krishna is giving opportunity to all the devotees to associate with them in a personal relationship. Here, persons who are addicted to the impersonal feature of the Lord, whether in meditation or otherwise, are all pilgrims to hell, because, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, impersonal simply waste their time in mundane mental speculation because they are addicted to more to false arguments than to reality. It is more false arguments. So again, one of the statements Prabhupada generally quotes, and also to Goswami says, Yemni Aravindaksha Vimukta Maninaha Dvayashta Bhavad Avishuddha Buddhayaha Aruhya Kuruchena Param Padam Tataha Patanti Adaha Anadruta Yushmad Angarayaha. So many people they think that they are liberated. Yemni Aravindaksha Vimukta Maninaha. And they think that they are Vimuktas, are the liberated. But still they have got a Tvayashta Bhavad Avishuddha Buddhayaha. Their intelligence is not yet purified. Avishuddha Buddhayaha. Tvayashta Bhavad. They do not have a good feelings. Tvay Asta Bhavad. Tvayashta Bhavad Avishuddha Buddhayaha. Towards the deity and personally rendering service to the Lord. So even though they have performed so many austerities and penances, Aruhya Kuruchirena Param Padam Tataha, they perform so many things. This is I am Brahma, you are Brahma, everyone is Brahma, it is impersonal Brahman, something like that. But they go through so many austerities and penances. Aruhya Kuruchirena Param Padam Tataha, Patanti Adaha, they fall down. Anadruta Yushmadangarayaha, because they're making mistake at the lotus feet of the Lord. Anadruta Yushmad Angarayaha, onto your lotus feet. Okay, this is the statements of Srimad Bhagavatam. So one has to take to the personal form of the Lord. Whenever Krishna is directly present here in the earth, everyone was seeing, and he has exhibited all potencies. There is no speculation there. One has to accept that one. For that purpose, he manifests. If Lord does not manifest himself, it is not that much easy for people to approach the Lord also. And here, and again, the forms of the Lord, all the plenary expansions of the personality of Godhead are equally potent as confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. Deepachare vihi dasantram abhipetya. Deepayate vivrita het samana dharma. Samana dharma. They're all equally potent. Just like a Deepachare. So the first there are so many candles, but first candle is always lighting. Always, whenever it is used to light all other candles. All other candles, and also similar to the first candle, they're all glowing. They're dissipating the same effulgence. They're same potent. Dasantaram abhipetya deepayate vyurita hetu samana dharma. But the first candle is Krishna. First candle is Krishna. And yastadrige vishnutaya vibhati. And he expands into so many forms. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. But I worship the primary Lord Govinda. That is Krishna, two-handed form of the Lord. And then how do we understand a historical perspective? When Krishna was in the Vrindavan, so when in the Brahma Vimohana Leela, he has expanded. When Brahma has told the friends of Krishna, then Krishna expands into so many of those boys, calves, and cows, and his friends like that. And Brahma was bewildered. And then when he was returned back, then all those forms they have turned into the Vishnu forms. And later on, all these Vishnu forms entered into Krishna. Okay, that is one of the example. And also when Krishna was married in the marrying 16,100 those princesses, at the same time he expanded that many forms. An individual form is same potent as all other forms of Krishna. All 16,100, it is same potency. There is no difference. And here Krishna is in the Goloka Vrindavana Krishna, and he is like existing in the Vaikuntha Loka as Narayana, and Mahavishnu in the Karunadaka Sai Vishnu, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu in the Garbhodaka ocean, and Chirodaka Sai Vishnu. They're all of same potent, but the features are different. They're called, one is the Prakasha Vigraha, Vilasa Vigrahas. Prakasha Vigrahas are the ones like Krishna's features, they're all are of the same, inclusive of the features. Like the one Krishna, multiple Krishnas. One Krishna dances with multiple gopis. One Krishna, he expands himself into so many other Krishnas and live with the princesses within the Dwaraka palaces. They're all called Prakasha Vigrahas. And Vilasa Vigrahas are he expands himself into Balaram and then Narayana and then Vasudeva, Sankarshna, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. They're all Vilasa Vigrahas. Mahavishnu, Karnadaksai Vishnu, Chirodaksai Vishnu, Garbhud, they're all Vilasa Vigrahas to perform different kinds of pastimes. But they are all of same potent. The Lord expands himself as the flames of a fire expand one after another. All the original flame or Sri Krishna is accepted as Govinda, the supreme person. All other expansions such as Rama, Nrsimha, and Varaha are as potent as the original Lord. As potent as the original Lord. All such expanded forms are transcendental. So, in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is made clear that Supreme Truth is eternally uncontaminated by material touch. He is eternally uncontaminated by material touch. So, here again, Lord says that Sambhavam Atma Maya. In the Bhagavad Gita also, it is Lord also says that Name Karma Pales Pruha. I do not have any desires to do I do not have any desires to fulfill in this material world. Nama, na, namam karmani limpante name karma palespruha. There is no prescribed activity for the Lord to do it. That is the free. That is complete. He is a swarat. He is independent. If he wills, he will do it. Otherwise, there is no force for the Lord. But everyone, all the conditioned souls, they are forced to do some particular activity. Okay, so and then further, there is no jugglery of words and activities in the transcendental kingdom of the Lord. Whatever Lord says, they will accept and then keep going. And it is called Vrajanti. And whatever the Lord wanted to do, the devotees all follow without any speculation. No jugglery of words. There is no discussion. Do I need to do it? Or I don't want to do it? What happens if I do it? Such kind of things, they do not. Lord want to do it, everyone joins. That is the transcendental activities. There is no jugglery of words and activities in the transcendental kingdom. Everything. So there, Vasanti Yatra Purushaha Sarve Vaikunta Murtayaha Ye Animitta Nimittena Dharmena Aradayan Harim Dharmena. But naturally, they are inclined to carry out different activities in the devotional service. Dharmena. It is a natural consciential position of a devotee to render service to the Lord. And all the Lord's forms are transcendental, and such manifestations are ever identical. They are all transcendental, and such manifestations are ever identical. This is Samana Dharma. Vivruta Hetu. Vivruta Hetu is the reason. Vivruta is a different reasons, but Samana Dharma. Varaha Bhagavan appears to kill lift the mother earth from the Garbhodaka ocean and also to kill Hiranyaksha. And the potency of Varahadeva and also to kill Hiranyaksha Lord come as a Narsimha Deva, the potency of Lord Narsimha Dev, potency of Varahadev, and all other expansions like Mashavataram, Kurmavataram, there are and the Lord Krishna, Rama, they're all of the same potency. So here, the particular form of the Lord exhibited to a devotee is not mundane, even though the devotee may retain material desire, nor is it manifest under the influence of material energy, as is foolishly considered by the impersonalists. So Lord can be manifested through any form. He may appear from the pillar, he may come from your nose, he may come from your water like a Mashya. So he can be manifested from any part. So in the part of the Narasimha Bhagavan's appearance, when Prahlada was showing the finger wherever, and Lord is waiting, wherever Prahlad is going to show his finger, from that point, Lord will appear. Lord is prepared to come from air, fire, water, earth, anywhere. The Lord is full. He is full. He can come from anywhere. And still, so when Narada Muni was instructing one of the statements to Dhruv Maharaj, when you are engaging in the devotional service, my dear Dhruv, so you can go to the forest that is called Kamikavana, and then there you can make a form of the Lord. Chiti Ambharishu, and so he says that, what is that one? You can make a form of the Lord and then you worship that form. And then mantri, so it is mentions Labhadravi Mayi Marcham Chiti Ambhavishu Vachayet Abrudatma Munihi Santo Yetavak Mitabanya book. You can make a form of the Lord using the soil, you can using the wood, you can take the metal, whatever is available. So this is Chiti Ambhadishu Vachayet Labdha Dravyam Mayi Macham Chiti Ambhadishu Vachayet Abrudatma Munihi Santo Yatavak Mitavanya book. In such a way, you can worship the Lord. Narad Muni says to Dhruv Maharaj, and he mentions Swecha Avatar Charitehi Achincha Nijamaya Karishati Uttama Shloka Tad Dhayat Pradyangamam, and the form of the Lord and his different pastimes, Swa Icha Avatar Charitaihi, by his personal will, Swa Icha Avatar Charitaihi, and he incarnates a number of forms. Achincha Nijamaya, they're all by his internal potency. So you need to meditate on those. Dhayat Pradyangamam, Karishati Uttama Shloka Tad, Dhayat Pradyangamam, and then to that form of the Lord, what you have made, and then by worshipping him, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, in such a way, Mantrin Anena Devasya Kudya Dravya Mayim Buddha, Saparyam Vividehi Dravyehi Deshakala Vibhagavet. And chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya in front of the deity, Mantrena Anena Devasya Kudya Dravya Mayim Buddha. You perform different activities and using different paraphernalia to worship the Lord. Saparyam, render service. Vividehi Dravyehi, with different kinds of paraphernalia. So you do dup sticks arati, and then ghee lamp arati, and then flower arati. You do chamara, you do another peacock feathers, just fanning the Lord, and also offer bhogas to the Lord, and offer tulsi patram pushpam palam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati. And then you decorate the Lord with all kinds of flower garlands, tulsi leaves, and various, bringing different kinds of varieties of flowers, decorate the Lord so beautifully. That is comes under Mantrinane Devasya Kutya Dravya Mayim Buddha Sapadyam Vividaihi Dravyehi Deshakala Vibhagavet, according to time, place, and circumstances. You need to worship the Lord. When you are worshipping the Lord in such a way, that form, even though he is manifested through this material, different kinds of things, but he is untouched by the matter. He is untouched by the matter. He is the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. He can manifest, he can come from a pillar, he can come from a nose, he can manifest through the different kinds, soil, or metal, aloha, or from a gold, anywhere. So this is not mundane, even though the devotee may retain material desire, nor is it manifest under the influence of material energy, as is foolishly considered by the impersonalists. And impersonalists who consider the transcendental forms of the Lord to be products of the material world are surely destined for hell. This is called because they do not have, when the Lord is personally present and doing so many activities, and he is speaking Bhagavad Gita and so many things, still people think that the Lord does not have form. How foolish it could be. That's why surely they will be destined for hell. But they do not have any permanent place in the spiritual world. That's why they will stay in the, for example, when a person he is desiring to go to a country where everything, all features are there. For example, if they wanted to go to the America or England, they will come in a different channel. Some people will apply for a visa and they will get. So it is a personal. They will check, okay, whether this person is qualified, whether he is skilled, and then when he is all good checklist, then he will be able to enter and come to the country, and then he can work there. He can work. It is not that simply sitting and idly and then eating the country's benefits. They do not allow. They are all looking for skilled workers, not the dumb and lazy people. That's why many countries are also issuing such kind of visas to the people of other countries. So once they go there, they will have a buy a house and then render some services to the country and do a job. But some people they wanted to go and they will go in a indirect ways. Let me go into that country in a different channel so that no one will recognize me. And then he would not get a citizenship there. He is not. So, but if the country, the government, or if anyone identifies governmental authorities, then he will be deported back. And here, impersonalists like that. Impersonalists, even though they attain in the Brahma Jyoti, it is not possible for them to retain their position. They will fall down. Kuto anyat kal viplutam. This is patantyadaha anadrita yushma dangarayaha. Whereas the devotee, they will go to the country and also their position is like a citizens. They get a citizenship and they will get an opportunity to go to the palace as well, the king's palace, and to see directly king. And if you make relationship with the king, then you can stay in the palace directly. That is a personal relationships. So then your position, it is not possible for even the governmental authorities. They do not come to you because you're directly with the king. Even though you do not have any citizenship, and if you are very direct to the king, then no governmental authorities do not come to you. So this is the personalism. Impersonalism is no one identify me, let me just go into the country somewhere, I will live on my own. He wanted to live on his own, but he doesn't want to relate it with the king. And also, he doesn't want to be one of the citizens of the country. So here Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Natvevahum jatunasam natva nemi janadipaha. Again, so that fourth, I think the second shloka, he says that my identity, your identity, it is always exist. O Arjuna, Natvevahum jatunasam natvam nemi janadipaha. Navayam na bhavishyamaha sarve. न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परम्. So never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So all of their identities exist. So okay, that is individuality is retained at all times and circumstances. It is not that today I exist, tomorrow I do not exist. Where I would be disappearing? That people, they will be bewildered. Some people so bewildered about it with the kind of name of liberation. They're once again afraid that if I maintain the individuality, then I may come to this material world and suffer. But here, but it is opposite way. So here, Prabhupada mentions the Mayavadi theory that after liberation, the individual soul separated by the covering of Maya or illusion will merge into the impersonal Brahman and lose its individual existence is not supported here by Lord Krishna, the supreme authority. Nor is the theory that we only think of individuality in the conditioned state supported herein. Krishna clearly says herein that in the future also the individuality of the Lord and others, as it is confirmed in the Upanishads, will continue eternally. This statement of Krishna's is authoritative because Krishna cannot be subjected to illusion. If individuality were not a fact, then Krishna would not have stressed it so much, even for the future. The Mayavadi may argue that the individuality spoken of by Krishna is not spiritual but material. Even accepting the argument that the individuality is material, then how can one distinguish Krishna's individuality? Krishna affirms his individuality in the past and confirms his individuality in the future also. He has confirmed his individuality in many ways. An impersonal Brahman has been declared to be subordinate to him. Okay, so likewise, this is further giving so much of knowledge on that one individuality and impersonalism. See, lots of knowledge that Krishna speaks. So this Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, it gives the light to the people of this world. We do not lose our identity. We maintain after death. We think some people think that everything is ceased, but it is not. We maintain our individuality. This is karmana dhaivanetrena jantuho dehe upapattaye. And according to his constitutional position, he will accept another body. Okay, and people who think that they are products of the material world. So here, like impersonalists who consider transcendental forms of the Lord to be products of the material world are surely destined for hell. Yonadrita narkbhavihi asastasangaihi. Likewise, Prabhupada is giving a brief, a detailed purport, and all Bhagavad Gita stresses. Krishna also stress that points. Okay, this is very beautiful shloka. I request all devotees to follow this shloka to recite wherever it is possible. Kindly unmute and follow line by line. Tadvaidum bhuvanamangala
तत्त्वाइदं भुवनमङ्गलमङ्गलाय
ध्याने स्मनो दर्शितं तवुपासकानाम्
ध्यानेश्वरो
Dasitam Upasakanam
तस्मै नमो भगवते अनुविदेम तुभ्यम्
Tasmai Namo
दर्शयन्
Bhagavate Anuvedayam
यो नादृतो नरकभाग्भिः असस्त्रसङ्गैः
यो न
Nadeto Naraka Bhagaveda Sada Prasangaiha
तद्वायुधं भुवनमङ्गलमङ्गलाय
Tadvaidam Bhavana Mangala Mangalaya
ध्याने स्मनो दर्शितं तवुपासकानाम्
Dhyani
ध्यानेश्वरो दर्शितं तमुपासकानां
तस्मै नमो भगवते अनुविदेम तुभ्यम्
Tasmai
तस्मै
Namo
नमो
Bhagavate
भगवते अनुविदेन तुभ्यम्
यो नादृतो नरकभाग्भिः असस्त्रसङ्गैः
Yoana तो नरकभागविदसतप्रसङ्गैः
Once more. Tadva idum bhuvanamangala-mangalaya.
तद्वायुमङ्गलमङ्गलाय
Dhyane smano darsitam tavupasakānam.
ध्याने उपासकानां
Tasmai namo bhagavate anvidema tubhyam.
तस्मै नमो देहाय
Yo nadruto narkabhagbihi asas prasangaihi.
यो न धृतो नरकपापीर असतप्रसङ्गैः
Okay, very beautiful. Okay, can I request devotees take turns to recite this shloka? Usha Mataji, would you like to go?
इदं भुवनमङ्गलमङ्गलाय ध्याने मनोदासितं तापासकानां तस्मै नमो भगवते अनुविधेमतुभ्यं यो नाधृतो नारकपापिरसत्प्रसङ्गिः
Very beautiful, very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Gauringi Mataji, would you like to go?
Yes, Babaji. Hare Krishna. Taddaidam bhuvanamangalamangalai ध्याने स्मनो दर्शितं त उपासकानां तस्मै नमो भगवते अनुविधेमतुभ्यं यो अनादृतो नरकभाग्भिदसत्प्रसङ्गैः Hare Krishna.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. And to go once again, Usha Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu. तद्वा इदं भुवनमङ्गलमङ्गलाय ध्याने स्मनोदर्शितं त उपासकानां तस्मै नमो भगवते अनुविधेमतुभ्यं यो नाधृतो नरकपापिरसत्प्रसङ्गिः
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Gauringi Mataji.
तद्दायिदं भुवनमङ्गलमङ्गलाय ध्याने स्मनो दर्शितं त उपासकानां तस्मै नमो भगवते न विधिमतुभ्यं यो नादितो नरकभागभिरसत्प्रसङ्गैः
Very beautiful. Gauringi Mataji, would you like to read the translation?
Sure, Prabhuji. This present form or any transcendental form expanded, expanded by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sri Krishna is equally auspicious for all the universe. Since you have manifested this eternal personal form upon whom your devotee meditated, I therefore offer my respectful obeisance unto you. Those who are destined to be dispersed to the path of hell neglect your personal form because of speculating on material topics.
Great. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Okay, we shall move to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today letter to Dr. Bijlow, January 20th, 1971, Allahabad. Okay, okay, letter is, can I request Gauringi Mataji to read the first paragraph and then later on Usha Mataji will read the rest of it.
Okay. My dear Dr. Bigelow, please accept my greeting. Recently, I have read one article in the uh, Gazette, Gazette, probably this
Gadget, yes.
Gazette by the uh, Corelli, Corelli uh, entitled, entitled Heart Surgeon Wants to Know What a Soul Is, and it was very interesting. Your comments so great insight, and so I thought to write you on this matter. Perhaps you may know that I am the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. I have got several temples in Canada, Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, and Hamilton. This Krishna consciousness movement is especially meant to give every soul his original spiritual position. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Jai Shri Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Nisha Mataji, would you like to address that with Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay.
Undoubtedly, the soul is present in the heart of the living entity, and it is the source of all the energies for maintaining the body. The energy of the soul is spread all over the body, and this is known as consciousness. On account of this consciousness and spreading of energy of the soul all over the body, you can feel pains and pleasure in any part of the body. The soul is individual and he is migrating from one body to another. Just as a person transmigrates from babyhood to childhood, from childhood to boyhood, from boyhood to youthhood, and then to advanced old age. Then the change called death takes place when we change to a new body, just as we change our old dress to a new dress. This is called transmigration of the soul. When a soul wants to enjoy this material world, forgetting his real home in the spiritual world, he takes this life of hard struggle for existence. This unnatural life of repeated birth, death, disease, and old age can be stopped when his consciousness is devoted with the supreme consciousness of God. That is the basic principle of our Krishna consciousness movement. So far as heart transplant is concerned, there is no question of success, only the soul is dead in the heart. So it has to be accepted, just like in sexual intercourse. If there is no soul, there is no conception, no pregnancy, no contraception, means to make the womb de- deteriorated so that it no longer is a good place for the soul. That is against the old order of God. By the order of God, a soul is sent to a particular womb, and by this contraceptive, he is denied that womb and has to be placed in another. That is disobedience of the Supreme. Just as a man who is supposed to live in a particular apartment, if the situation there is so disturbed that he cannot enter the apartment, then he is uh, at a great disadvantage. This is illegal inter- interference and is punishable. The undertaking of soul research would certainly mark the advancement of science, but advancement of science will not be able to find out the soul. It can simply be accepted on circumstantial understanding. You will find in the Vedic literature that the dimension of the soul is 1/10,000 times smaller than the point. The material scientists cannot measure the length and breadth of a point. Therefore, it is not possible for the material scientists to capture the soul. You can simply accept the soul's existence by taking from authority. What the greatest scientists are finding we have explained long ago. As soon as one understands the existence of the soul, he can immediately understand the existence of God. The difference between God and the soul is that God is a very great soul and the living entity is a very small soul, but qualitatively they are equal. Therefore, God is all-pervading and the living entity is localized. The nature and quality is the same. The central question you say is where is the soul and where does it come from? That is not difficult to understand. We have already discussed how the soul is residing in the heart of the living entity and that it takes shelter after death in another body. Originally, the soul comes from God, just like a spark comes from fire. And when the spark falls down, it appears to be extinguished. The spark soul originally comes from the spiritual world to the material world. In the material world, he falls down into three different conditions which are called the modes of nature, just like the sparks of fire when it falls on dry grass and the fire quality continues. When the spark falls on the ground, it cannot display its fiery manifestation unless the ground is favorably situated. Similarly, when the sparks fall on water, it becomes extinguished. As such, we find three kinds of living conditions. One is completely forgetful of his spiritual nature. One is almost forgetful, but still there is an instinct of spiritual nature, and one is completely in search of spiritual perfection. There is a bona fide method for the achieving spiritual perfection by the spiritual spark soul, and if he is properly guided, then he is very easily sent back to home, back to Godhead, where from originally he fell down. It will be great contribution to human society if this authorized information from the Vedic literature is presented to the modern world on the basis of a modern scientific understanding. The fact is already there. It simply has to be presented for a modern understanding. If you desire, I shall give you more information in this connection, and you can present it in scientific words. If you so desire, you can publish this letter in the paper also. Hoping to hear from you soon. Yours sincerely, A.C. Putredan Swami. Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, Gaurangi Mataji, any takeaway points from the paragraph that you have read, Mataji?
Yes, Babuji. Prabhupada mentioned about the he have a temple in Canada. Some places he mentioned about that name, and is Krishna consciousness is every soul got spiritual he mentioned about that, Prabhuji. That's it. I cannot explain, Prabhuji. Sorry about that.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhupada is addressing to Dr. Bijlo, who is a heart doctor. And then so he was thinking, heart surgeon wants to know what his soul is. So he's a doctor, he wanted to know. And then he was writing that one in a letter, in a kind of a article. And Prabhupada has read that article. And then Prabhupada, in return, he has wrote this particular letter to Dr. Bijlo, saying that I am founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. I got so many temples, and then the Krishna conscious movement is specifically meant to give every soul his original spiritual position. And Prabhupada wanted to explain about the soul to that doctor who wanted to know. Okay, thank you so much, Mataji. Very nicely reflected. Can you request Usha Mataji? Any takeaway points, Mataji, from the part that you have read?
Yeah, it's a big letter, and then it's very nice. Prabhupada is explaining to Dr. Bislo about the souls and heart. What is that? The soul, if there is like a, has to know about that where the soul and the body has a connection, and then he said why he to transfer the soul to another body, and just like we that transmigrating boyhood to childhood and then childhood to boyhood. So like that in Bhagavad Gita said, Dehi nosmi yatha dehi kaumaram yovanam jara. I think that the sloka goes like this uh, uh, for the Prabhupada's very nice letter about how that Prabhupada explained about the soul and the, the when the soul wants to enjoy the material world, but that forgetting is about real home of the spiritual world and like that if that there is a three type of he said the people. So one is like struggling to the real home spiritual, and then he takes that his life of hard struggle, and the other one is the natural of yeah, so when his consciousness and his devotional with the supreme consciousness of God. Something is a base about the soul, so that nobody knows like when the soul comes in the um, body, like when the mother is pregnant and then the child comes. So when it start coming, so the God is putting the soul and where he's come from, so nobody doesn't know. So like the Prabhupada is trying to explain that Dr. Bislo about that soul and how they comes body to transfer to another soul. If that body reject that soul, and then soul has to find the other body to go. And it's very Prabhu, it's like very difficult to all about the soul and hard ways to explain. So like when his death comes and then the soul goes. So there is something about that also, Prabhu. There's so much to know about that, all about the science and the scientists, even that they couldn't capture the soul. So even though they are trying to find out where the soul goes or where that comes from, nobody can capture, like a scientist never captured that for the soul. So like then Prabhupada is explain about that difference between good and the souls. The good is a very great soul, and the living entity is very small soul. Something. Prabhu. Hope you can explain a little bit more about that whole souls and body, please.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nicely explained.
And then yes, the soul's dimensions. He is Prabhupada said it's very very little tiny, like thousands of tiny, very tiny, the soul's size. So yeah, something about that. It's saying about dimension. Yeah, something in Vedic literature that 10,000 times smaller than the point.
Yes, Keshagra Bhagasya. This is again mentioned in the Upanishads. So Prabhupada makes of the this, what is that shloka? केशाग्रसितभागस्य शतधा kalpitasya cha. So it is described keshagrasitabhagasya. Keshagrasitabhagasya, once keshagra is the tip of the hair, once it is divided into 100 parts, again take one part of it. Satada kalpitasya cha. So when it is divided in 10,000 parts, and just imagine that one part is spiritual atom, it is so small, it is so minute, it is not possible to see with our material eyes. That does not mean that you take a big, what is that called? A lens, which would be like a 2000 or 10, 100,000, something like that, and you will just zoom it. That means inconceivable to see the soul. We cannot see that. Even metal atom is also, we cannot see. And that atoms also we can see something, it is described when the metal atoms are combined into 6 of them. One atom is called Paramanu. There are 2 of them called merged into it is called Anu. 3 Anus are called Rasarenu. Then you can see the floating in the air through the sunshine which is entering your room through the holes of a window. You can see some particles. That small particle, they're a combination of 6 atoms. That particle, when it is divided into 6, that becomes the atom. So you cannot see even the material atoms, and what to speak of the spiritual atom. That is the dimension of it. So it is described in the Shvetasvatara Upanishad, Keshagra. Okay, so that is, then material scientists cannot measure the length and breadth of a point. Therefore, it is not possible for the scientist. And here, in the Prabhupada is again mentioning one beautiful purport. So, Supreme Personality of Godhead arranges the man is the Purusha, woman is the Prakriti. Prakriti is accommodating the living entities, accommodating the living entities. And the women, they give birth to the living entities by giving shelter in the. This is the Karmana Daivanetrina Jantuhu Dehu Upapattaye. Striyaha Pravishtabadharam Pum Samretaha Kanashrayaha. The man who is giving the seed giver, he, and then woman is the seed receiver, and then in the womb, in her womb, and then she will grow. And then there is a again mixture of Kalalam tu Ekaratrina Pancharatrina Budbudam. Dasahena tu Karkandoho Pesendam Va Tataha Param. And the sperm and the egg, they merge together and then they form a andam. And it is what is fertilized egg. And then it will grow. Pesendam Va Tataha Param. And Kalalam tu Ekaratrina. First of all, in the first day, it will Kalalam tu Ekaratrina. They both mix together. Pancharatrina Budbhudam. On the 5th day, it will become a small bubble. Dasahena tu Karkanduhu. And then the 10th day, Karkanduhu, like a berry size. So this is described very detailed in the, I think, 31st chapter of 3rd canto by Kapil Bhagavan. And here what it means, so the womb of mother, it is arrangement by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if women or men, if there is arrangement of conceptions not to conceive, that is, it is disobedience to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So one has to use that womb. So if we observe few years ago, a few years in the sense, maybe 50 years or 40 years or maybe 100 years, every mother used to give birth to the at least 10 children, as much as she can. And the children are raised with proper culture and behavior. That is the Vedic injunctions. Nowadays, people has only one child, and then gradually that number of children giving birth, it was being reduced. And due to this modern technology, modern science, they're all using contraceptive methodology so that and for their sense gratification. That is disobedience of the Supreme. Just as a man who is supposed to live in a particular apartment, if the situation is, if the situation there is so disturbed that he cannot enter the apartment, then he is put at a great disadvantage. That is illegal interference and is punishable. So here, uh, previously all the mothers they used to give birth to so many children. If you look at Krishna's wives, every wife of Krishna, they have given birth to 10 boys and one girl. Exactly the same number, 11 children in the womb of every wife. 16,108 wives. They gave that many of birth to that many children, boys and girls. And then further, Prabhupada also mentions for the Dr. Bigelow understanding he may be having. So, where is the soul and where does it come from? So, now you have explained nicely about the soul, but where does it come from? Where does it go? So, here Prabhupada says that is not difficult to understand. We have already discussed how the soul is residing in the heart of the living entity, and then it takes shelter after the death is in another body, because it is nothing to do with the different kinds of bodies to accept and then not to accept. It will go on from one body to another body. If I am not given one house, I may search for another house. If I am I do not have house, I am looking for the rent. If one person doesn't want to give, I will find another one. In the similar way, the soul, it will find another one. And where does originally it comes from? God. Just like a spark comes from fire, and then the spark falls down, it appears to be extinguished. And where it falls, it depends on. If it is falls again within the same fire, it will always glow. If it falls on the earth, then it will reduce its intensity. If it falls in the water, then uh, it will the fire will be extinguished completely. Okay, so this is how it maintains its quality. When the spark falls on the ground, so again this property is describing here. Similarly, this is यथा उल्मुखात् विस्फुलिंगात् धूमात् भा अपि स्वसंभवात् अपि आत्मत्वेन अभिमतात् यथा अग्निः पृथक् उल्मुखात्. Kapil Bhagavan describes the nature of the soul. Yata ulmukad vispulingad. Yata ulmukad vispulingad dhumadva api swasambhavat. From the fire sparks comes, blazing comes, and the smoke also comes. But what is the original thing? Api atmatvena abhimatat yata agnihi ulmukat. But the essential is the fire. Because of that, everything will come. Because of the presence of the soul, there are so many things. First of all, the body gets developed, it finds different kinds of relations and associations, wife, children, house, property, so many things. They're all different kinds of yata vitta cha putra cha pruthak matyah pratiyate api अपि आत्मत्वेन अभिमतात् देहादेः पुरुषः सदा. Dehadehe Purushaha tada. So because when we think that, okay, this is my house, this is my children, family, and everything. Likewise, the material body, what we are wearing at the moment, either man body or woman body, it is also one of the asset of a soul for time being. It is using for time being. And then the soul, it will leave that body whenever it is no more useful, and then go to another body. Dehadehe Purushaha tada. So here Prabhupada is giving in different dimensions to describe the nature of a soul. So one is almost forgetful, but still there is an instinct of spiritual nature, and one is completely in search of the spiritual perfection. So here, bona fide, one has to approach the bona fide method for achieving the spiritual perfection by the spiritual spark soul, and if he is properly guided, and he is very easily sent back to home, back to Godhead, where from originally he fell down. This is Kotasto. Kotasto. It is all the souls, they are in the spiritual world. Tripadasya Amritam Divi. So three parts of the creation, they are in the spiritual world. All material different innumerable universes in this material creation. There is one Ekapada. Padosi Visvabhutani. Only one Pada. And Tripada is the spiritual. Tripadasya Amritam Divi. Rigveda mantra says. And Tad Vishnoho Paramam Padam. Tad Vishnoho Paramam Padam. Sada Paschinti Surayaha. All the time the demigods looking after to go to the Tad Vishnoho Paramam Padam. Diviva Chakshuratatam. Again, Rigveda mantra. Everyone are destined, desire to go there. That is the Kotasto. Again, this is Tvam Nitya Mukta Parishuddha Vibhuddhatma Kotastadi Purusha Bhagwan Tradishaha. Tvam Nitya Mukta Parishuddha Vibhuddhatma. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is not contaminated by anything. Nitya Mukta Parishuddha Vibhuddhatma. Kotastha Adi Purusha. Kotastha is a spiritual. Again, this is also described in the Bhagavad Gita. Dhau esargho lokesmin क्षर अक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वभूतानि कोटस्थो अक्षर उच्यते कोटस्थ अक्षर उच्यते अक्षर is non-fallible living entities they are in the spiritual kotastha akshara uchyate that is where all the living entities and they fall down because of the tend to lord it over material nature or personal sense gratification or rebelliousness towards the supreme personality of Godhead. When we understand that one from the uh, see this is from the Vedic literature, then everyone will be educated in such a way so that they understand the real constitutional position. It is mentioned it will be a great contribution to human society if it is authorized information from the Vedic literature is presented to the modern world on the basis of modern scientific understanding. The fact is already there. It simply has to be presented for modern understanding. If you desire, I shall give you more information in this connection and you can present it in scientific words. If you desire, you can publish this letter in the paper also. This is how one side Prabhupada is preaching and also trying to give these scientists or doctors about the modern way of understanding about the spirit soul. Yes, that is very long letter. It is a kind of a response for the article that Dr. Bijlow has published. Okay, any other comments? Okay, so that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter and from the announcements point of view. Okay, again our week starts from tomorrow, Monday to again our weekly events. Again evening we have got Sunday evening 6:30 our japa session. Okay, that is our upcoming event. It is a daily 6:30 p.m. japa session, 6:30 to 8 o'clock. Apart from Saturday, all days will be having japa. Devotees are coming together and doing japa very nicely. Okay, so that is did not lose any association all the time throughout the day. Okay, and the devotees, if you have got any updates or you wanted to share anything, kindly do so. Usha Mataji.
No, Prabhu Hare Krishna. I'm just thinking about the pastime according to this letter about the Arjuna when the Brahmanas, how many sons have been died, and then he was saying he can protect that the boys Brahmanas. Uh, so still he died, and then is it about the soul or heart, Prabhu? And then Krishna and Arjuna went to look for that. Arjuna said, "I'm going to die if I can't save your child." That
Ye-
pastime, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. That is, they go to Mahavishnu and bring those children.
Mm, yes.
So those individual living entities, they always exist. And Krishna brings the children of Devaki Mata who were killed by Kamsa. So that also so many pastimes, and also Krishna brought back his teacher's the child, Sandipani Muni's child, again from Yamadharmaraja. That means the soul is always there. He is present somewhere,
Mhm.
somewhere other. He is present either in the spiritual world or in the material world.
Okay, Prabhu.
Again, according to the desire of the living entity, he will be placed either in the material world or in the spiritual world.
Mhm.
Desires must be purified. He can choose whether I wanted to stay in the filthy place, I wanted to be in the palace, I wanted to serve a dog, or I wanted to serve a king. He can choose. He wanted to worship the Lord, or he wanted to worship the people who give the only the stress.
Mm,
If you just want to serve your master in offices, he will ask you to work this one and that one. It will only give you frustration. You will be tired and you don't like it. But once in a month he may give some salary, it may give relief. But throughout that 30 days, you have to work hard and hard. And there are so
mm,
many discussions. Again, we may be bombarded with different problems, arguments, and discussions. We say one thing, they don't agree, they will say something which is not possible, not practical. And finally, somewhere or other getting convinced and something comes out, again, they are not satisfied. In such a way, one will go through so many problems, either office, and some people work very hard to create big buildings, and then they will get a salary in one day, and then in the next day, all the bills, mortgage, the gas bill, electricity bill, water bill, and all the balance will be emptied, and then groceries. I wanted to go to the holidays and the homes and travels. You don't have money, and I wanted to go spend money for bills, doctor bills, medicine, so many other things. And then we are squeezed, we are distressed. यम यम मध्यमुपादत्ते दुःखेन सुखहेतवे तं तं धुनोति भगवान पुमान् सोचति यत् कृते. Then they will cry. because there is no money. I want to do this thing, but there is no money. I wanted to buy this thing, no money. Though he is working. And sometimes he wanted to work, but there is no employment. Like it, find a master, but masters are closing the doors for all the people, educated people. Why they create so many universities and they, as many number of jobs, you give only that many number of students, accept only that many students from the beginning. You train them. It is not required, first of all, to have these universities and schools. If you have got a work, if you have got a industry, your industry itself recruit the children, train them, and use 100% of employment. That is the proper way. It is not that giving that one to all other educational institutions, they will raise that, but there are only 10 jobs. You are giving opportunity for 100 children. What about the 90? That is where the problem is. In the Vedic injunctions, a child from his 8 years onwards, he was given only basic education. Later on, he will accept the job from his father. His father trains him how to survive. It is not that you go to someone's home and then come work. He will lose all his capabilities. The educational institutions, they are giving different kinds of skills to the, they take so much of money from the time and also money from the students. They give something and then they go for search for jobs, but they do not find a suitable job for them. And the employers ask different skills. That's why there is havoc in the education and jobs, and people are dissatisfied. And once you go to the job, there are different kinds of distress. There is no harmonious things. But here in the Vedic injunctions, a child will be educated properly by the father and also how to be satisfied. He has got full control of his work. He becomes expert what to do, what not to do. And people who wanted his service, they will go and get service from him. That was very easy and straightforward. There is no frustrations at all. And because he is expert, he gives the right solution to his customers. But here in this nowadays, it is so much of imbalance within those relations between the universities, education, and the students and the employers. So many other, and then for ultimately the happiness of a person who is working at the end. Did I study going to Oxford University, Cambridge University, and came out and then working here, working for these organizations, earning millions of money? At the end, am I happy? No one say that. A CEO of a Apple company, he died in the 50 years, and people who are working hard, they will die very quickly in due course of time. Of course, if they are unnecessarily working too much without ignoring their health and everything else, they will die very quickly. What is the use of education and job and earning money? Here, that is a different reflection. That's why devotees, they focus on the spiritual identity. Spiritual means you are always active. Spirit soul is always active in the spiritual activities, irrespective of the body. Yes, that is what Prabhupada is trying to explain. So, but people forgetting that real identity, that they are a souls and engaging, occupying in different kinds of occupations, and then thinking that I am dog, I am a cat, I am a human, I am a bird, I am a fish, I can swim, like that. So many other ways. That is forgetfulness of the God. Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Rahul, for explaining so nicely. Thank you.
If you're happy, then just we shall go to, we are already 8 o'clock. and Ramayana. We read a little bit of Ramayana to explain it, and then we shall end the session. So we have been in the Ramayana. Let me just so part 2 and then chapter. This is Ravana's lust insight is incited. So Ravanasura is making plans to kidnap Sita Mata, and then he has got that Maricha to made him to appear as a Maya deer, a beautiful deer, so that deer will be attracting the mind of Sita Devi, so that Sita Devi would ask Ramchandra to go and get it. And once Ramchandra goes towards that um, Maricha demon, then if Rama kills or not kills, that Mahasi demon has to imitate Rama's voice to calling Lakshmana and Sita. That is the plan. And now Sita Mother has captured the site of this day, Maya day, and then she was showing to Lakshmana and also Rama, and then forcing Rama that I wanted this deer. Once we go to the Ayodhya, then I will keep this deer, present it to our father, our mothers. I will keep it as a pet. So many dreams. So Sita Mata was um, planning for that deer. Okay, so and then so here Ramachandra went beyond the behind the Maricha, and then knowing that it is a demon, and then he has killed that demon and killed the demon has imitated the voice of Lakshmana and Sita. And then here Ravanasura is trying to steal Sita Devi. And here, because the sound was came to, it was heard by Sita Devi. And now Lakshmana and Sita, what they are going to do, that we are going to see today. Okay. I think this is the next chapter, I think. So this is the kidnapping of Sita. So here in this chapter, so here Rama ran toward the dying Rakshasa Maricha. Maricha saw him approaching and remembered Ravana's instruction. With his dying breath, he let out a cry that could be heard for miles, perfectly imitating Rama's voice, which he vividly remembered from their previous encounters. Maricha cried, Lakshman, help me, alas, Sita. Okay, so now we have also read the next paragraph as well, but we shall continue from there. So can I request dear devotees take a turn to read two paragraphs? Can request Gauringa Mataji to read the first two paragraphs?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, okay. With that final cry, the Rakshasa died. His gigantic from covered in blood, laying uh, pro- pros- prostrate on the ground. Rama stood before the dead Rakshasa, filled with apprehensions. This was absolutely plot by the demons. When Lakshman and Sita heard that cry, they would become confused. Rama looked at Maricha's massive body. The voice of a Rakshasa was 100 of times more powerful than that of a man. Rama had been chasing the deer for an hour at least and was miles from the hermitage. The only thing to do was to run back. Rama immediately began to ret- retrace his steps. Thinking of Sita, he feared the worst. At the hermitage, Lakshman and Sita had heard the Rakshas cry. Sita was struck with anxiety. Turning to Lakshman, who stood calmly, she said, "Did you not hear your brother's cry? So surely he has fallen into the hands of the demons, even as a bull might be seized by a group of lions. O Lakshman, go quickly to help Rama. My heart is all but stopping and my breath hardly comes. Please act sweetly, swiftly. Again, more, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please.
That's it.
One more paragraph, Mataji.
Lakshman did not move. He remembered Rama's instruction to guard Sita. He did not at all fear for Rama and considered the cry to have been uh, uttered, uttered by a demon. Sita became even more anxious when she saw Lakshman unperturbed. Bewildered by fear, she spoke angrily. O son of Sumitra, you are an enigma in the guise of a friend. It seems you are glad to see the mm, pilgrimage of your brother. Surely you desire to possess me for yourself. Therefore, you do not rush to Rama's aid. What is the value of protecting me when our leader is in such danger? Hare Krishna. Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So here, very beautiful points that we could understand. One side, the Rama, Ramantino yogino anant Ramante yogino anante Satchanandi Chidatmani. Satchanandi Chidatmani, Rama. So he is called Parabrahma Abhidhiyate. Iti Ramapadena so Parabrahma Abhidhiyate. He is called Rama. Now that Rama is now killing, he has killed the Maricha demon. And Maricha demon imitated with the Rama's voice to call Sita and Lakshmana like that. Now Rama is perplexed what is going to happen to them because they may be in the danger. It's a plot. And now, thinking that began to retrace his steps, thinking of Sita, he feared the worst. Now, at the hermitage, Lakshmana and Sita had heard the Rakshasa's cry as planned by the Ravanasura and Maricha. Now they have heard. Now Sita was struck with anxiety and turning to Lakshman. So here, who they represent? Of course, the pastimes are happening. It is a itihasa. The past time has happened, but what do we reflect within our life? Some desires will come, but actually we are progressing in the devotional service. So Sita Mata is nicely worshipping Ramchandra, Lakshmana is serving, but here because Sita Mata's desire, which is not Rama's service, that a deer, and then she was attracted. Our living entities in our day-to-day life, we are attracted by something else. We are deviated. But Lakshmana, as a spiritual master, who is Guru Tattva, giving us instructions that do not go, do not think in such a way. And then we may think that, so in our day-to-day life, if we think that if I have got that particular object, but it is I wanted, but I wanted to use it for that so that I will be very happy. Here, Sita Devi wanted a deer to present in the palace Ayodhya. It is not for Rama's sake. And Rama is directly present there. If he says, yes, I wanted this deer, then Sita Mata's desire would have been purified. But Rama, it is not after that one. And also it is not for the sake of Rama's pleasure. It is for somewhere to keep it as a pet in the Ayodhya. That desire it is separate from Rama's interest. And what it is making, and now she wanted, and then Rama is trying to fulfill the desire of Sita. Okay, Rama went, but that is in Maya, and then he killed that one, and then returning back, and then further the spiritual master is here, but spiritual master is still guiding the disciple, but if still disciple saying that I am not able to maintain my family without if I follow your instructions, what you want to do when I am not able to do it? I am not able to maintain my family or work and responsibilities. What do I achieve if I hear you, oh my dear spiritual master? Sometimes devotees may be having such kind of thoughts, but spiritual master says that do not get distracted. You carry out your duty as a responsibility and then engage yourself rest of all your time in the devotional service. Do not be distracted. So when spiritual master says if we have accepted that, then all will be good. And then if we say my spiritual master is always asking me, even though something is happening to me here, he does not understand. And then he will rebuke. What kind of spiritual master is he? I'm suffering here and he says something different to me. And my spiritual master make me as his servant, and then he wanted to possess me so that he is making me far away from all my beloved ones and doing so many things. But that is not the interest of spiritual master. Spiritual master is to protect the disciple from the Maya days, some outside interests. Then disciple will be safe. He will not be perturbed later on. Okay, so here that is kind of a reflection. Here, what Sita Mata is saying here. Sita Mata says that, did you not hear your brother's cry? Surely he has fallen into the hands of the demons, even as a bull might be seized by a group of lions. O Lakshman, go quickly to help Rama. My heart is all but stopping and my breath hardly comes. Please act swiftly. Sita Mata is forcing Lakshmana to go quickly because again she has now understood that uh, her husband is in danger. But knowing that Rama's position, who is unconquerable, she has witnessed that he has killed 14,000 demons. 14,000 demons, this Karan, Dhoshana, so many things. But now she is thinking that bull might be seized by a group of lions. Likewise, my husband Rama might be attacked by a demons. There is no possibility for any demon to attack Rama. She has witnessed it, but still contemplation. This is the Strainam, the nature of a woman. And then it says, "Oh Lakshman, go quickly to help Ram. My heart is all but stopping and my breath and hardly comes. Please act." And then, but Lakshman did not move. He remembered Rama's instruction to guard Sita. So here, in similar way, the bona fide spiritual master, he is acting, he is representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He will not do anything which is not said by the Lord. He did not at all fear for Rama and considered the cry to have been uttered by a demon. So because spiritual master has got a strong faith and he is a stalwart devotee of Krishna, that is bona fide. Okay. Now, coming to here, another Sita became even more anxious when she saw Lakshman unperturbed. And so, bewildered by fear, she spoke angrily. So, what it means when Srila Prabhupada, he is the staunch devotee of Krishna. So, he is following instructions of his spiritual master properly as it is. And then he was giving, and many of the devotees coming to Krishna consciousness. Everyone are safe. Everyone chanting, following regular rules and regulations, all the philosophies acquainted. And then some of the devotees, they thought, okay, I'm losing something. And then I'm losing my sense gratification. Some people left, and then some people returned back. But Prabhupada did not do anything unfavorable for sense gratification. He has presented the philosophy as it is. He did not move. He did not change his, for example, one of the, I think he was Mishra. So he was kind of preaching as well uh, in a different way. But Prabhupada did not change his attitude. He did not change his sannyasi dress. He did not change his beads and attire, Vaishnava's attire. Many people go and they change themselves. They go for one purpose and later on they became the target. But Prabhupada is the source of all goodness. He maintained as it is. That is the bona fide. He did not change. Likewise, Lakshmana also did not move unperturbed. What happens further? Now Sita Mata spoke angrily. O son of Sumitra, you are an enemy in the guise of your friend. It seems you are glad to see the plight of your brother. Surely you desire to possess me off for yourself. Therefore, you do not rush to Rama's aid. What is the value of protecting me when our leader is in such a danger? So this one, whenever Sita Mata says that surely you desire to possess me for yourself, so Lakshmana could not hear those kinds of words. When spiritual master is looking after his disciples, it is not for his sense gratification. If the disciple says that, "Oh my dear master, Guru, you are making me as a slave," then it is not for Guru's sake. He is a representative of the God. He is making him to engage in the service of the Lord. It is not for his personal self. He cannot, that is not the way to address him. So, now what further it is going to be said, whatever Sita is doing. Let us see. Can I request Usha Mataji to read next three paragraphs, please?
Okay, Prabhu Hare Krishna. Sita shook with fear and sobbed loudly. Lakshman felt pained by her words and he tried to reassure her. Your husband cannot be overcome by the gods or demons assembled in any number. O gentle princess, Rama cannot be killed in a fight by any created being. Of that there is no doubt whatsoever. Be at ease, Ram will soon return, having slain the Rakshasa who assumed the form of the deer, and who know doubt uttered that cry. Lakshman was certain that Ram was not in any danger. He could guess that the demon had been killed by Ram and had imitated Ram's voice as he died. After Ram had annihilated uh, the Rakshasas' army at Jana, Janasthana, the Rakshasas must have formulated a plot for revenge. Lakshman tried to explain this to Sita, but she became even more angry. She stood blazing like fire, her eyes red with fury. Because of her fear for Ram, she was confused, despite her respect for the virtuous and gentle Lakshman, who had never once looked her in the face. Her anxiety for Ram made her rebuke him harshly. "O, O ignorable and merciless Lakshman, it is obvious that you care nothing for your brother. Indeed, you are happy to favor, see him in peril. I can understand that you have been concealing your true nature. Posing as Ram's friend, you have all the while been coveting me. Your sinful desire shall never be fulfilled. I shall give up my life even in your presence. Having become Ram's wife, how could I accept an ordinary and wicked man like you? Uh, Carry on, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, one paragraph, please.
Okay. Lakshman was deeply hurt. Sita was worshipable to him as Ram. He could not even imagine what she was suggesting. His mind raced, confused by agony. He could not remain with Sita while she was in this mood. Her words were unbearable. How could she make such accusations, accusations, accusations? He had to look for Ram, but what would happen to Sita? Fearful and angered by Sita's castigation, Lakshman controlled his mind and replied, "Your words pierce me like a hated steel arrow. I cannot argue with you since you are a deity to me, deity to me. O princess, alas, it seems that the nature of woman is to be fickle and given to sentimentality. Sentimentality. Although I feel sure I am right, I must nevertheless follow a dangerous course driven by your sharp words. I shall depart and search for Ram, but I fear I may not find you here when I return." Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Mataji.
Okay, thank you.
So here, Sita Mata, again, she is fear about her husband because, again, what is the main thing? Main thing, women are driven by the mind or emotions. Women are driven by the emotions, and this is it is natural. We practically see that one. They are driven by emotions because unless they show love and affection to the children, it is very difficult to raise the children. They have got mostly connecting with the emotions, love, affection. Sometimes it is not, but men, they will use logically, use it intelligently, which is right, which is not right. But um, so in the scientific way, they say that men brain, they're looking like cubes, one cube, two cube, and then properly patterned. And then where if you have got some problem, you will go to that cube and try to solve the problem. That's it. It does not go to the next cube. And problem stays within the same cube, and the problem is solved. That's it. Everything else is not touched. And whereas the woman brain, it is like kind of a spaghetti. It is spread all over. And then even there is a top bit, one side is a problem, it will spread to the entire spaghetti. And then it is connected. Sometimes we may bring, whenever there is argument between husband and wife, if there is a small thing, I have prepared a rasgulla, you eat it. Then husband says, I don't eat it today because he will say something. Then wife may be thinking that because you are thinking that I don't prepare well, and on yesterday also you did not eat some curry, and the other day also, and then you were always rebuking me. You did not show interest to me since my marriage. How you have not neglected me? She will bring everything entire history, and then make the situation worse. And then the innocent husband just looking what he has done, just simply not eating one kind of rasgulla because he is not feeling or he's already full or he is excessive already, and then he's so innocent but he is hearing all these things and then thinking of again one side since beginning of marriage and then oppositely and your father your mother are like that, your brother are like that, your home everyone are like that, you never ever respect me and don't. Now entire calamity has come upon. That is because the nature they are emotionally driven. If one side is stuck little bit, but men are not like that. They're always like a cubes. This is a practical experience, and uh, Chanakya Pandita he says that women are not very intelligent. Women are not in. It is not in the day-to-day things like cooking and all those things. It is not that one. When such kind of circumstances comes like this, like Lakshmana and Sita, women are not very intelligent in the kind of administrative stuff or something like that. That is Chanakya Pandita's words. Okay, so now because of her nature, Sita Mata shook with fear and sobbed loudly. Lakshman felt pained by her words and he tried to reassure her. Your husband cannot be overcome by the gods or demons assembled in any number. O gentle princess, Rama cannot be killed in a fight by any created being. Of that there is no doubt whatsoever. Be at ease. Rama will soon return, having slain the Rakshasa who assumed the form of the deer and who no doubt uttered that cry. So here, when a person comes to Krishna consciousness, he will get all the knowledge and Krishna will protect him. And if there are any doubts or some kind of illusions comes into his life, Krishna will dissipate. He will kill all kinds of doubts. This is um, Jnanadhipena Bhasvata. By the transcendental knowledge, he will remove all kinds of doubts, illusions from the life of a devotee who is surrendered to Krishna. Nami Bhakta Pranasyati. But Krishna will never be killed by anyone. Rama cannot be killed by any demons in any number. There are so many demons will come, but they cannot harm. The spirit soul is eternal. The supreme spirit, the supreme personality of Godhead. So he is saying Rama cannot be killed in any fight, in a fight by any created being. Any created being. Of that there is no doubt whatsoever. Because Rama is the creator of the everyone. And no one can understand Rama. No one can understand Krishna. He is beyond this material creation. He is eternal personality. He is Sat Chit Ananda. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govindaha Sarvakarana Karanam. So knowing that truth, Lakshmana, he is saying, the spiritual master says to the disciple, do not worry about it. Krishna is there, he protects, be at ease. Rama will soon return, having slain the Rakshasa who assumed the form of the deer and who no doubt uttered that cry. You simply, for the time being, you tolerate. Matra sparshyestu kaunteya, sitoshna sukha dukkadaha, agamapayino anityaha, tam titikshyastu bharata. Just simply tolerate for time being. But Rama is going to protect you. And then Lakshmana is giving assurances to Sita. So Lakshman was certain that Rama was not in any danger. He could guess that demon had been killed by Rama and had imitated Rama's voice as he died. So Lakshmana knows this one. Whenever the Maya deer came, when he beautifully presented before Sita Mata, he already predicted that it could be the Maricha demon. And before that also, Maricha demon has come with different demons, like in the form of Sharaba. At the time, Rama has killed other demons, but at the time, he injured this Sharaba when Maricha, when he was in the Sharaba's body. And then he was afraid and he went on. So Lakshmana knew everything and Maricha's mystic things as well. So now Lakshmana is firm within that. So saying that after Rama had annihilated Rakshasa army at Janasthana, the Rakshasas must have formulated a plot for revenge. So this is spiritual master knows what is going on. And then Lakshmana tried to explain this to Sita, but she became even more angry. She became even more angry. She stood blazing like fire, her eyes red with fury because of her fear of Rama. Her fear for Rama, she was confused. Sometimes devotees would also have their own way of worshipping the Lord. If I do not worship this way, then I may lose. My spiritual master is saying like to follow only these rules, Vidhi Bhakti. And if I don't do my personal things, and if I follow this my spiritual master's things, then what is going to happen? And I will lose my something like that they may think. But spiritual master know what is right for you at the time. So here she was confused. Sita Mata was confused when Lakshmana was saying all the truth and the revelations based on the past experiences. Now Sita Mata, she was afraid for Rama's sake. Sita was confused. Despite her respect for virtuous and gentle Lakshman, so she has got a respect, but now time has come. But Lakshmana, he has never seen the face of Sita Mata. He has never seen the face of Sita Mata, uh, as it is mentioned. He never once looked her in the face. Her anxiety for Rama made her rebuke him harshly. How do we understand? And Lakshmana has not seen Sita Mata on face directly. So whenever Sita Mata was stolen by the Rakshasa, at the time she has thrown some of the jewels and putting in some cloth and throw down. And then Hanuman has got that one kept at Sugriva. Ram and Lakshmana came there. At the time, Sugriva was showing those jewels. And that time, Rama is showing, oh, this is the earrings. Then Lakshmana says, I don't know. And this is the necklace. Lakshmana says, I don't know. And this is a kind of another necklace, ornaments. This is the hand ornaments. Lakshmana says, I don't know. And then it says, this is the leg ornament. This I have seen, Lakshmana says. This is anklets. I have seen because Lakshmana, he only sees at the feet of Sita Mata only, not the face, not any part above the feet. Okay, that one Lakshmana says to Rama later on. But Lakshmana, who had never once looked her in the face. Now Sita Mata, her anxiety for Rama made her rebuke him harshly. Okay, so here Sita Mata says, "Oh gentle and merciless sorry, O ignoble and merciless Lakshman, it is obvious that you are nothing, you care nothing for your brother. Indeed, you are happy to see him in peril. I can understand that you have been concealing your true nature. Posing as Rama's friend, you have all the while been coveting me. Your sinful desire shall never be fulfilled. I shall give up my life even in your presence. Having become Rama's wife, how could I accept an ordinary, unwicked man like you? So these are all very harsh and very difficult to digest for Lakshmana. This is the words are like piercing the heart of a Lakshman. ततार्भिः नवित्रिशिलीमुखैः सेते अद्भुताङ्गहृदयेन धूयता स्वानं यत वक्रुध्यं धुरुक्तभिः दिवानिशं तप्पिति मर्मताडितः. Whenever our relatives, the close relatives, if they speak harsh words, they are more powerful and that will torture us day and night. We do not even sleep by remembering those words which come from the mouth of our relatives, close relatives, wife, children, or close relatives, brothers and sisters, mother. They are more powerful. This is Divanishan tappiti marmataditaha. They go straight into the heart, marmataditaha. If it is enemy's arrow, tatar bihi na vitidisilim, even that would not torture us that much. Lord Shiva says that one statement to Sati Devi. So now the situation here, Sita Mata speaking to Lakshmana with harsh words. How we could and how could I accept an ordinary and wicked man like you? But it is not the intention of Lakshmana. Lakshmana is only protecting Sita Mata there. So Lakshmana was deeply hurt. Sita was as worshipable to him as Rama. He could not even imagine what she was suggesting. So his mind raced, confounded by agony. He could not remain with Sita while she was in this mood. Her words were unbearable. Unbearable. This is Swanam yata Vakradhyam Duruptibihi Dhivansham Tapiti Marmataditaha. Unbearable. Marmataditaha. How could she make such accusations? He had to look for Rama. But what would happen to Sita? Fearful and angered by Sita's constigation, Lakshmana controlled his mind and replied. And he mentioned, your words pierce me like a heated steel arrow. Okay, exactly the same statement Lord Shiva mentions to Sati Devi. Tatarabhi naviti silimukaihi sete aditango hrudayen dhuyata. Pierce me like a heated steel arrow. I cannot argue with you since you are a deity to me. Lakshmana again mentioning his position. You are a deity to me, O princess. So he controlled his mind. Alas, it seems that the nature of a woman is to be fickle and given to sentimentality. Lakshmana is now mentioning given to sentimentality, emotionally driven. Although I feel sure I am right, I must nevertheless follow a dangerous course driven by your sharp words. This one, it is very important. In our day-to-day lives, we also see that even though we feel right and do right things accordingly, but we are driven by some person in the home, by emotions. So this is very difficult. We are forced to do act, even in the case of the children, in case of the wife, in case of the husband, in case of mother, in case of father, in so many relations. But who is right? That one who has to understand, who is in Krishna consciousness, following rules and regulations, who never make any mistakes knowingly. Based on that, who need to take the authority in the home. Otherwise, there is havoc. Now, If the home is divine by a person, a woman with the sentimentality, if though husband is following rules and regulations and chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra as per the Vedic injunctions, and woman is forcing the husband to act what she wanted. I want this one. It doesn't matter whatever happens. He knows that it is not right. It will make only havoc in the home, but still she forces because that is the nature of fickle and given to the sentimentality. Woman is to be fickle and given to sentimentality. Knowing that husband, he is forced to do it. Although I feel sure I am right, I must nevertheless follow a dangerous course driven by your sharp words. I shall depart and search for Rama, but I fear I may not find you here when I return. Okay, this is again a person who realizes that who could not tolerate those dangerous course and the sharp words, and then he is forced to act. Lakshmana is forced to act like that as per Sita's desire. Again, he is mentioning what is going to happen in the future. And then, so this is second time. Now, Sita continued to cry out, saying to Lakshman, I shall never remain with another man in Rama's absence. I would sooner drown myself in the river, fall from a high uh, precipice, precip- precipice, or enter blazing fire. Now, again, third time. It is unbearable already. Again, she did not stop. She is doing other thing. And Lakshmana was enraged by Sita's uh, insinu- insinuations. He tried consoling her, but she would not say anything. He prayed to the forest deities to protect her. Then, bowing to her with folded hands, he left to look for Rama, Sita's words still ringing in his ears. Okay, so that is the position how Lakshmana lives. Sometimes many people will come with so many here and there, half listening, and then bring half kind of philosophy that how could even the Rama says Lakshmana could live, he could have stayed there. So many things they will say. But here they do not see the angle of Sita Mata's words, how they're piercing the heart of Lakshman. Of course, here Lakshmana position is very, very sensitive. One side is Sita Mata is saying, and once Rama comes and then he says, I have given these words that you stay and guard here, guard Sita there, Sita Man. Then what he would explain to Rama later on? So here, position of Lakshman is very, very sensitive. In the similarly, the spiritual master position, who is giving the instructions to his disciples, his position is very, very sensitive as well. Okay, so likewise, this is our day-to-day reflections, how we need to act, how the Ramayana will drive our lives, how Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam drive our lives. It will enlighten the knowledge, how to act with it dutifully, how to use our words. Using the usage of the words, it must be polite and soft, according to time, place, and circumstances, and duty. And also, it is not only for ourselves, we also need to understand from the opposite side as well. What is their duty? Whether they are acting rightly, whether they are following the authority. Am I doing the right thing? Am I following the authority? This one has to reflect. Then there will be proper conversation. This is again Krishna. He says that anudvekaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapu uchyate. The words what we speak, it should not agitate the others. Anudvekakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat. Always to be truthful and pleasing and auspicious for the opposite person. Satyam Priya Hitam Jayat. This is called Vangmayam Tapa Uchyate, austerity of the words, austerity of the speech. Okay, so this is the different reflections we can take from Ramayana's pastimes. Okay, so I stop there and I request the devotees, if you have got any questions or you wanted to share anything or you wanted to reflect, anything is taking your mind, kindly ask or kindly share. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna
That
Mataji.
was so beautiful when, like, Lakshmana Sita, how harsh she can speak to Lakshmana because she's thinking that her husband is in danger. So she started without thinking anything. She's trying to make Lakshmana very like that even though Lakshmana doesn't want to go, but when he heard that Sita's harsh word and then he can't take anymore, so he wants to stay, but then he said he can't. So how the woman can uh, do that things to when even though that Lakshmana is following that Ram's instruction, but still he has to go to look for Shiva and listening to Sita's words. And like in this, in the material life also, Prabhu, that how that woman can make that her husband or anybody to do the things, even though husband doesn't want to do or something. But that woman is try to convince and then make to do things. So yeah, Prabhu, that is something to yeah. Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhu, for nice, wonderful explanation about the Prabhupada letters, and then now that we can do the Ramayana. So thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay. Any other questions or reflections during the Mataji? Okay, so here one point what we would see, Lakshman, whenever Rama and Sita they're going to the forest, Lakshmana is not obligated to go to the forest. He is going to the forest to accompany his brother. And he was married as well. His wife was in the kingdom. Now he is going to assist. And since beginning, so far how many years have been passed? Nearly 13 years have passed. 13 years. And all the time Lakshmana has been serving Rama and Sita very faithfully in the last 13th year. Even though for a moment of this days, that moments, few moments sake, Sita Mata's mind was disturbed. She could use those words without any hesitation. So Lakshman was mentioning how fickle and so the nature of woman is to be fickle and given to sentimentality. They do not care how much faithfully the husband is looking after the uh, wife and children for so long. But wife, she can say any harsh words to the husband. Sometimes we would say it doesn't matter. The husband has been throughout his life, he is going outside working hard and then bringing the livelihood and maintaining the family, paying all the bills, tolerating all the stress. And then finally, wife says, "What have you done to me?" Then it will just kill the heart of your husband. Because woman can say anything at any point of time. That is the nature of woman, is to be fickle and given to sentimentality. Okay, so this is how Lakshmana is mentioning here. These are very sharp words. And so Lakshman, though he has worked all the way, and within a moment, his heart was pierced by the sharp words. Okay, and in relation to these things, one of the conversations between Lord Shiva and Sati Devi, Lord Shiva says to Sati Devi, when you are living with the family and so many relatives, if any of your relative, maybe he is a father or a mother or anyone, and if he or she is always angry, not having a happy face, and having a inimical to the others, and then even though you have got a blood relationship, you do not go to that person, otherwise you will face problems. Lord Shiva says that to Sati Devi. When Sati Devi wanted to go to her father's home, because her father was performing some yajna, everyone are going jubilantly in their aeroplanes along with their husbands, and then so that Sati Devi also can go and see her father. But her father has got a inimical feeling towards the mm, Lord Shiva. And because Sati Devi's relationship with Lord Shiva make uh, even Daksha Prajapati, he will not be happy with Sati Devi also, even though before that he loves Sati Devi very much. But now, because Sati Devi is wife of Lord Shiva, now he will show that enviousness of Lord Shiva. He will put all of those things on Sati Devi. But nature of Sati Devi, she cannot tolerate such kind of feelings from coming directly from the father. So Lord Shiva says that, and here Daksha was proud of his all opulences and his position and acting in such a way. But sometimes we would see some people in our lives, they are not having happy face in their all the time, Prudrujo Anisha, keeping something in the heart and doing. Pradikdeha Spruštadiyo Pradikdeha Karmadusho Dhurasayaha Parodayena Arpita Hrudrujo Anisham. They're always they keeping their eyes, the eyebrows in a bent way. Always something they want to do it, materialistic things. That is exactly Lord Shiva says that one. Whoever is bending their eyebrows and then acting like speaking something, you need to be very careful. Do not go near to such kind of persons, even though he may be blood relative. Okay, it comes from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, I think 3rd chapter, where Lord Shiva and Sati Devi, 3rd or 4th chapter, conversations. Lord Shiva gives so many things, how to act when you are going to the relatives. Don't go if you, even the blood relatives and close relatives, if they are of that nature, don't go near to them, even though they invite for the sake of pride or something like that. Okay, but by their behavior, you do not feel any happy. Even though the house is good, you have got nice car, nice house, all kinds of comforts, but when you are not given proper treatment in the home, and also not, the main thing is the food, cloth, and proper sleep, and a little bit of cooperation between the family members. That will give sufficient happiness to the father or the man, husband. But if there is no food, no proper food, and then there is no loving affection words from the wife and children, then it is kind of a hell, though it's a big house, all kinds of facilities are there. It is a hell. Buying things does not give any happiness in the home. It is an obstacle, it will make the things worse in the relationships at the home. Similarly, one who is addicted to for this is called karma durasayaha. If I get this one, I will be very happy. Prushtadiyah karma durasayaha parodayenat hrudrujo anisham. They are always keeping some kind of anger in their heart and doing things so many things. It will bring only uh, havoc, but they think that it will be good comfort, prestige in the society. So they do not hesitate to speak any harsh words. Parodinath Rudrujonisham Parandhruptih Visajanti Arundhada. Drupti is the harsh words. Arundhada with the sharp harsh words. So when people are speaking like that, do not say anything opposite to them, because by their words they are all destined to be punished by the Lord. Okay, likewise, Brahma says to Lord Shiva as well. Okay, many interesting topics here when the situation comes like that. Words, what Sita Mata's position and Lakshmana's position. And again, if you look at the history, how Lakshmana has been serving faithfully, but at the end he was hearing such kind of harsh words from Sita Devi, knowing that Ramchandra is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lakshmana also knows that one. They are not ordinary people. Okay, of course, it is a reflection, but of course, the entire pastime is a full history. It is a different reflection, but so many points to see. Thank you so much, Mataji, for kindly hearing Ramayana and different reflections. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu, for giving your time, valuable time, and then we are so fortunate to have you. So thank you, Prabhu. Let's go on, Mataji. We can say Hari Bol to Prabhu. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol. Hari
Hari.
Bol. Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji. We are three
Yeah.
only.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you,
God
Prabhu.
gave
Yes.
me so many things, Prabhuji. So many nature for us. So thank you very much, Prabhuji. Everybody going to temple today, Mataji.
Yes. Yeah. Looks like it because that occasion Maharaj.
Today I heard is the Mahasangha. That's why everybody gone there.
Yes.
Okay, very
Thank you,
beautiful.
Prabhu.
Namaste Mataji. Hari Bol to Gaurangi Mataji and Usha Mataji for kindly sharing Ramayana and sharing the reflection.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Myself, no, Prabhuji. Usha Mataji. Everything, Usha Mataji. No, you what you saying, but
No, Mataji, I'm also so very nice about the Ramayana. So we learned
yes,
so much about the Sita Mata's
yes,
character and then about
yes.
Lakshman. And then,
Lord Ramchandra's Charitra is so Prabhuji telling detailedly.
Yes, it is when devotees are there, then we would reflect everything from the scriptural point of view. What is there, what is different, and what is circumstances. So, when we digest those things, again acknowledging them in intimate life, yeah, it will yield for the right decisions and to act right time, rightly, without getting disturbed to the circumstances. Okay, thank you so much, Mataji. So beautiful. Okay, if you're happy, we shall conclude our session and continue with Japa if it is possible.
Yes, Prabhuji.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। सप्तकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की
Jai.
जय।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री